Hey friends, it's Megan, and today I'm talking about some names from the show Boy Meets World. This video was requested, and as soon as I saw the request, even though I have a pile of videos to get to, I had to bump it up on my list because I loved watching this show. And actually I grew up in Southern California and I got to see a couple of live tapings of the shows, probably in the late 90s. It was their kind of college years. But yeah, big fan. So let's go ahead and talk about the names. First I'm going to do some names from the original show Boy Meets World, and then I'll talk about some names from the new show Girl Meets World, and these are really just main characters. So the first character I have to talk about is Cory Matthews. His name is actually Cornelius Matthews, although he went by the nickname Cory, and he was played by the actor Ben Savage. Cornelius is a Latin name that means horn, and has not been in the top 1,000 here in popularity since 2008. It's a name used in lots of novels. There are many famous characters named Cornelius. Something interesting is Cory on its own with the spelling is currently number 650 in popularity, so much more popular than Cornelius. Then we have Shawn Patrick Hunter, who was Cory's best friend, and he was played by the actor Ryder Strong. Shawn is a variation of the spelling Shawn, S-E-A-N, which is an Irish name that comes from the name John, meaning God is gracious. This spelling of Shawn is currently number 308 in the United States. It is actually going down in popularity. It fell nearly 100 spots just in the last 4 years alone. Then we have Topanga Lawrence, later Topanga Lawrence Matthews, and she was played by Danielle Fishel. And if you grew up in Southern California like I did, you might know this name as the beautiful Topanga Canyon. So it is a place name. That's what I knew it for first before the show. But Topanga is also a Native American name that means where the mountains meet the sea, and I think that's a beautiful meaning. I know a lot of people love this name and have it high on their guilty pleasure list. Next we have Eric Randall Matthews, and he was played by Friedle, and Eric was Cory's older brother. Eric is an old Norse name that means eternal ruler. It's currently number 118 in popularity, although it has slipped a bit just in the last few years. Eric was in the top 100 from 1950 to 2010, so it has been fairly popular for quite some time. Then we have George Feeny, Mr. Feeny, or as Eric called him, Feeny, and he was played by William Daniels. George is a Greek name that means farmer. It's currently number 157 in popularity. However, I think it'll be really interesting to see if the name George increases in popularity in the next few years, because William and Kate's little prince, George, and usually when a name is used by someone in the monarchy, it rises in popularity. So George is a name that I will be watching. Then we have Jack Hunter, played by Matthew Lawrence, and he was Shawn Hunter's half-brother. Jack is an English name. It's a diminutive of the name John, and it means God is gracious. It's currently number 20 here in the United States, and it really has been always a popular name. The lowest that Jack has been in the charts in the United States was number 179, so pretty popular for quite a while. Then we have Morgan Matthews, and she was played by two different actresses. First, Lily Nicksay, and then Lindsay Ridgeway. And Morgan is a Welsh name that means circle or sea. It started off as a male name, now definitely taken over by women. It's currently number 100 for girls on the charts, where it's number 662 for men. Next on my list is Alan Matthews, and he was played by William Russ. Alan was Cory's father on the show. Alan with this spelling is Irish. It means handsome. It's currently number 153, and it's been around that spot in the popularity charts for the last 20 years. Then we have Amy Matthews, who was Cory's mother, and she was played by Betsy Randle. Amy is a French name that means beloved friend. It's currently at spot number 139 in the charts. However, it was pretty popular. It was in the top 100 from the late 1950s up until the late 1990s. And I think Amy gets people think of it as being kind of a generational name for women born 70s, 80s, 90s in particular. However, I could see Amy making a comeback maybe in the next 15, 20 years. Down the line, I could see people liking the name Amy again. Then we have Stuart Minkus, and he was played by Norris, and he was really only in season 1, but he did make an impression on many fans. Minkus, or Stuart is a Scottish name. It means steward with a D at the end, and it's not in the top 1,000 now. It hasn't been in the top 1,000 since 2003. Some lesser known but still prominent characters on the show. We have Rachel Kimberly McGuire, and she was played by Maitland, and she was Jack and Eric's roommate in the college years. And Rachel's a Hebrew name that means you. It's currently number 138 in popularity. It's got a classical sound. It's a biblical name, a name popular amongst Christian families and Jewish families, wildly popular in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. It is beginning to dip a little bit in popularity. Then we have Angela Moore, and she was played by Trina McGee Davis, and she was kind of Shawn's love interest on and off towards the end of the show. Angela is a Latin name that means angel. It's currently number 196. It is slowly decreasing in popularity as well, and I think partially because people are paying more attention to similar names with angel in them, like Angelica, Angeline, and of course Angelina. Then we have John Turner, and he was played by Anthony Tyler Quinn, and he was a teacher on the show in the early years of the show. John is a Hebrew name. It means God is gracious, currently number 27 in popularity. John was number 1 for a long, long time in this country. The lowest this name has been is number 28, so very, very popular first name for men in the United States and in many English-speaking countries, actually. And then finally on this little list, I have Eli Williams, and he was played by Désert, and he was also a teacher in the early years, and he did a broadcast. And Eli is a Hebrew name. It means my God. It also means ascended. Currently number 43 in popularity, hugely on the rise. I love this name. It is up 87 spots just in the last 6 years, so people are definitely paying attention to the name Eli. Okay, and then I thought I would just mention a couple of the main characters in the Girl Meets World show that has just started up. So first up we have Riley Matthews. She's kind of the center of the show, just like her father Cory was for Boy Meets World. And Riley is played by a cute little actress named Rowan Blanchard. And like I said, she is Cory and Topanga's daughter on the show. Riley is an Irish name that means courageous. With this spelling for girls in the US, it's currently number 45. Although if you add up all the various spellings of Riley, it is pretty popular. And she has a little brother on the show named Auggie Matthews, and he's played by a cute little actor named Auggie Matthews. And like I said, he's Riley's younger brother, son of Topanga and Cory. And Auggie comes from names like August or Augustus or Augustus. It means magnificent. Auggie on its own as a nickname, or as a given name, not as a nickname, has never been in the top 1,000. Another character on the show is Joshua Gabriel Matthews, or he just goes by the nickname Josh, and he is played by Uriah Shelton, and he is Riley and Augie's uncle. He actually was born towards the end of the Boy Meets World series, so you might not remember Cory having a little brother, but he did, and so now he's a teenager and he is the uncle on the show. Okay, but Joshua is a Hebrew name. It means the Lord is my salvation. Currently number 21 in popularity. I used to love this name as a little girl. And it was a top 10 name all through the 80s and 90s up until 2009. Another character on the new show is Maya Hart, and she's played by Sabrina Carpenter, and she's Riley's best friend on the show. Maya is a beautiful name. It's a Hebrew name that means water. It's currently number 72, and I think something cool about the name Maya is I can picture it on a woman from kind of anywhere, any background, any race. And Maya has been in the top 100 for the last 11 years. People are definitely loving it. And then the last name I wanted to talk about on this list is Lucas Fryer, and he is played by Peyton Meyer, and he's a friend of Riley's and kind of her crush on the show. Lucas is a Latin name meaning man from Lucania. It's currently number 23, which is the most popular it has been in this country. It is on the rise, and I love Luke names so, so much. So now that we talked about some names from the show, let's break them down real quick, boys and girls, and pick our favorites. Comment your favorites below. So the male character names that I talked about were Cornelius, Cory, Shawn, Eric, George, Jack, Alan, Stuart, John, Eli, Auggie, Joshua, and Lucas. So my favorites, I mean, Luke is one of my favorite boys' names of all time. So Lucas is my clear favorite, but Eli would be my close second. I love the name Eli, especially as a middle name. I think it sounds really cool with a lot of names. For the girls, we had Topanga, Morgan, Amy, Rachel, Angela, Riley, and Maya. My favorite of that list is probably Maya. I don't know that I'd use any of those names, but I think they all have nice sounds. Topanga is a good guilty pleasure choice, but I'd never use it. So I'd love to hear what you think of any of these names. Who was your favorite character on the show? Who did you love? Who did you want to be like? Any of those things. Are you watching the new Girl Meets World show? I've only watched little snippets of it, but I'll be sure to watch. Comment below, and I'll talk to you soon for the next video. Thank you guys for watching. Bye-bye.